The British defence industry really does rely on the partnership it has with the UK military, and we see some great examples of how innovation is actually driven by need. And we're with Captain Guy Baker here, and so Guy, tell us what we're seeing here at the show.
So what we've got behind us here is the UK Capability Showcase. This is a showcase headed up by 20 British Army personnel, and effectively we are seconded to the UK DSE, so the UK Defence and Security Exports, which is an element of the Department for International Trade. What our role is to assist UK industry in effectively exporting UK-born products to overseas governments, overseas ministers and overseas armies, and we assist those companies in any way we can. What we've got here is companies that are both innovative products and companies that have integration. So our products range from counter UAV, we have drones, we have low-level parachutes, we have medical triage systems, and we have some CBRN systems as well.
Sounds like some amazing stuff. Let's take a look. Casualty management on the battlefield is changing a lot from pen and paper to the digital age. And Ian Wells, tell us about what's happening with casualty management that's different.
So as you say, it's moving more towards the electronic space than the pen and paper written space. It's much better a system in my opinion because people's handwriting differs and the language that people use to communicate injuries is different, and it can cause to miscommunication and confusion. An electronic method where each soldier's fitted with a barcode, you scan the barcode, the computer system knows that individual, and it knows any allergies they have or any specialist medical conditions that they have. Once you scan that individual into your system to triage them, the computer gives you options of what the injury is and how to deal with it. So you just click through the menus, click the buttons, gunshot wounds, burns, blast injuries, anything. It goes through the complete system, you tap it in, and it gets sent automatically to a server. Once it's in that server, it automatically goes to the next level of medical care and the casualty evacuation team. The casualty evacuation team know where you are because the system also auto-populates your location and sends it to them. As well as that, it has an aid memoir in there, so it will tell you how to treat things like burns, gunshot wounds, so you're not carrying 157 different bits of paper and trying to scrap through your notebook to find out your casualty aid memoirs.
So when we're looking at new capabilities, innovations and everything, UAVs are probably at the top of that list. So let's have a look at this one here. It's new, and let's talk to David Cree. David, tell us about this.
So here we have the KIOS 55, which is made by Canon Lens, and the difference with this UAS is that it's got the vertical takeoff and landing with the four motors you can see there, and it vertically takes off, and then the engine that you can see at the rear of the aircraft will then engage, and then it will fly like a normal aircraft.
So that's pretty good. It's a mix between the UAV and the old fixed wing. It's also not quite a medium-sized one and not quite a small one. So how does that work?
Yes, it's sort of in the middle, but because of the way it takes off, it allows you to carry the extra payloads, etc., and it gives you a good endurance.
Okay, can I ask you about loitering? Because obviously with surveillance UAS systems, you need it to be on there for a while. It's still pretty small. How long can it work for?
Yep, so depending on atmospheric conditions, etc., the endurance is about 8 to 10 hours.
Wonderful bit of kit here. Drones are a problem. This is going to get rid of them. How does it work?
So it works. We've got the handheld device and we've got the vehicle mounted device, and it does it through firing a projectile with compressed air. With a projectile is fired. When it gets to a certain range, it's already pre-programmed by the systems you see behind me. The net will open up and capture that drone and place it on the deck. There's two types of projectile that are used. One with a parachute, allowing it to fall to the ground nice and gently, and then we've got one without a parachute, so we capture it with the net and bring it to the ground.
Here we go with sustainability. Ian Rathbone, you've got something underneath you here that's special. Tell us about it.
Okay, so this is the electric all-terrain vehicle from Supercat. It's low emissions, green energy. The vehicle itself is very stealth in operations, so it's only 70 decibels in volume. It's got very low heat signature, so it's good for tactical insertions into enemy locations.
Okay, so it's as quiet as a milk float, but how far can it go? Does it run out of power to be battery recharged after 5 minutes?
Okay, so the range, you're looking at 110 kilometers, and it takes around 4 hours to fully charge a battery from being low.
And the speed, what sort of speed would you get with this?
Yeah, around 50 kilometers an hour, speed-wise.
So that can really do some damage, kind of, in terms of the distance you're going to have to travel.
Absolutely, and you know the vehicle itself is as fast as a normal petrol variant. So you know, I think with its stealth operations being a lot quieter, you know, it kind of wins over the petrol variant.
That certainly sounds like a great sustainable bit of kit. But actually, I've just thought, how do you recharge it if you're in the middle of the desert? Hang on, let's just ask the man who knows. Ian. So how do we do it? What is it? How do we make this work?
Okay, so what we've got over here is the Gryan Volta solar power generation unit. It's deployable within 30 minutes of touchdown, and using this piece of kit we can actually power up the EcoCharger Quad.
So is it big enough to handle a number of pieces of kit that need battery power?
Absolutely, and it can also link to other Gryan solar generation units, so it can power much larger locations.
So there you are, it's sustainable and it works.